Chan from National Central University, Taiwan, and our lecturer from Geophysics Engineering, it's Rizky Wulandari, right? Okay, now maybe you both can introduce yourself.
Professor first.
Okay. Yeah, hi, I'm Chan, and you can just call me Han. And I'm from Taiwan, a tiny island compared to Indonesia or compared to the Sumatra. So I'm here to share some of the experience on seismic hazard or seismology that we have from Taiwan, and try to express such kind of the experience to have some collaboration with ITERA.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kiki, or actually my longer time is Rizky Wulandari, but you can address me as Kiki. I'm a lecturer in Geophysical Engineering Study Program in Institute Technology Sumatera, and I also a former student from National Central University, Taiwan.
Okay, then now in your each hand there is already a coloring page. Maybe you can show to the camera. Okay. While we have an interview, you can start coloring from now on.
Okay,
Maybe you
let's
can
try
pick the color, the crayon.
Yeah, thank you. I choose green one.
Okay, Prof. Han. First question. How's life as professor?
Oh, that is very good question. That means for a professor, of course, we have a lot of resources to do something. Let's say to do something that we want. That means we can do some research that could be beneficial for someone who are in need. In the meanwhile, we can also help some people around the world. So, for example, that's the reason why I visit here. Of course, use some of my current resources to be here and try to clarify how to figure out some of the collaboration mode between Sumatra and Taiwan. But even though we have such kind of authority, sometimes I will feel a little bit stressful, because since we have power to help someone, then that means we can do a little bit more than others. So that's the reason why I would say sometimes we should try our best to help as many people as possible. So that's the reason why I think that is kind of the balanced life I'm encountering.
Okay, that's nice. So when did you decide that, okay, this is what I want to be expert in? Maybe you both can answer. Prof. Han first.
Frankly speaking, for I myself, I will never scheduling specifically my life. That means when I was young, let's say when I was a graduate student or a high school student, I don't have specific determination that to illustrate what I would like to be in eventually. So that means at that moment I would never expect I will be a professor, something like that I am. But gradually I realized that what I would like to do, I feel something interesting about the seismology or some seismic hazard assessment, and then gradually I become what I am now.
Okay, maybe you could while you coloring.
Okay.
Okay, what about Kiki?
Yeah, when I decided to go in,
Yes.
Actually back then to my high school experience that I took the competition that about the earth science or volcanology and so on. And at that moment, I not achieved this any kind of the winners. So I told myself, then I really interested in this part. know this like a difficult things. And after that, I also pursuing my undergraduate program. So I wanna join the like a geophysical or geological study program, and I accepted in ITERA. And after that, I still have passion about the earth science, and I know more about the earthquakes, and I still like how can we live with earthquakes. And for that reason, I choose the undergraduate thesis, a mini thesis. Title is like seismology. And yeah, I still learning about the earthquakes, and one of the reason is because we live in Sumatera, and yeah, there is a lot of earthquakes. And I continue my study in the master program, which is in the best place to learn something more, the deeply knowledge about the earthquakes in Taiwan.
Very nice. Now, Kiki, let's be honest. Who is your most influenced mentor?
Frankly speaking, I have a giant supervisor beside me.
Thank you very much.
And he is very kind in every aspect. And yeah, from him I learned more knowledge about my passion, or what I want to do, or what I want to learn. And yeah, he is my mentor.
Thank you so much.
And what about you, Prof Han? Who is your most influenced mentor?
I would say in my career, generally, if I just want to specify some of that, I would say some of my supervisor in Taiwan, who is Professor Ma, as well as one that's when I have as exchange students in the United States, that would be Professor Rastan. They influenced me, especially in the career, very much. But in the meanwhile, I also aware that during when I was childhood, when I growing up, I would say my parents, my father and my mother influenced me very much. Not only for the value of everything, but also some of the prospection of our life. But more in general, I would say everybody that I met are my mentors, because I learned something from some of them or many of them in different kind of aspects. So I would say everyone I've ever met will be my mentor.
Ah, that's quite valuable. So, we want to get deeper into the phenomenon. Could you please explain about the earthquake condition, both in Indonesia and Taiwan? Maybe the Indonesia will be elaborated by Kiki, and the Taiwan will be elaborated by Prof. Han. Please.
Who should first? Okay, you can first.
Okay. Yeah, as mentioned, the earthquakes in Indonesia, because Indonesia located at the subduction zones, which is all entire Indonesia, most of them in the ring of fire. And for the earthquakes itself, we experiences maybe like too many times, right? And we need to care about it, how to minimize our risk. And also beside that, we need as we know, we still learn about earthquakes, and try to develop how become the good method or the good things can minimize the impact of the hazard. And actually we experienced a large earthquake in Sumatera, which is Aceh earthquake in 2004, and maybe we can learn how the impact of that earthquake and can minimize our hazard or the impact of the hazard, and we preparedness for the society or the citizen in Indonesia. I think that's the situation now in Indonesia. And how about Taiwan?
Is that similar to Taiwan?
I think we have a lot of similarity in earthquakes. So that means similar as the situation in Sumatra, we also have some of the so-called subduction zone, which could cause so-called megathrust that could generate very large event. So that's the reason why also similar as the situation in Sumatra, Taiwan is also the playground as earthquakes. We have a lot of earthquakes over there. Unfortunately, for people living here, we are suffer from such kind of the damage, loss of that one. For example, we had an earthquake with magnitude 7.6, which is quite large, that occurred in 1999 in the center of Taiwan and caused a lot of fatality and damage. That is bad luck for Taiwanese. But in the meanwhile, as a scientist, how we transfer such kind of bad luck into an opportunity to significantly improve not only our knowledge on science, but also try to further convert such kind of the knowledge into practice that can minimize the impact of the earthquake. So I would say that's the major reason why I visit ITERA this time. Try to figure out some of our common language, which is earthquake or seismologists, and try to integrate what we already know and to help with each other, not only in science but also for publics, and try to build up this kind of earthquake resilience world for not only Sumatra, Taiwan, as well as the world.
Okay, and what is your biggest challenge in this field to solve this kind of problem?
We always encounter different kind of challenge. Frankly speaking, I don't recall we have the so-called biggest challenge, because there's a challenge everywhere. That means when we would like to interact with others, sometimes we will have some of the barriers. For example, in the past years, we encountered COVID-19. So that means it causes significant difficulty to interact with people. Although we try our best to overcome such kind of situation using some of the internet technology and so on and so forth, but still we still encounter some of the difficulty with communication. Furthermore, when we do the research on any kind of the components, we always facing some lack of the database or lack of the knowledge on any aspect. So we got a lot of trouble or difficulty on various components. Fortunately, what we know is we want to do something together. So that means, yes, the difficulty is tons of that, but we know how to solve each of them together.
Perfect answer. Now I would like to answer about this. Mass media has released about the megatrust. You must know about this, right? So what should we do as a society in facing such this uncertainty problems?
You mean the megathrust, the impact from megathrust?
Yes, what should we do to prepare?
If we are talking about the megathrust or any kind of large earthquake, usually it will result in two kinds of impact. One is a severe ground motion, ground shaking. Second is, since most of the megathrust took place in the sea region, the offshore region, which could cause the significant tsunami. If we are talking about ground shaking, that means it could result in some of the damage of buildings that could further cause fatality. But especially for seismological engineering, we have phrases, earthquake don't kill people, but buildings do. That means we are afraid is not earthquake itself, but also some damage because of the low quality of the something that will have some consequence. So that means we can do something in advance to prevent such kind of the disaster to become tragedy. For example, we can reinforce some of the building by revising so-called building codes and so on and so forth. For tsunami, of course, when the tsunami sweeps up to the land, that will cause significant impact or damage in that region. But in the meanwhile, what we learned from some of the tsunami experience in the past, we know, unlike the seismic wave or ground shaking, as I just mentioned, which comes to people very, very rapidly, for say within a minute or within some seconds, tsunami usually propagate relatively slower. So that means people have some of the time to make response or react. So that's the reason why after such kind of tragedy, for example, after the 2004 earthquake or tsunami in entire Indian Ocean, we have established such kind of so-called tsunami early warning system. So that means we cannot prevent tsunami coming, but we can warn people that something will happen and please do some action in advance. That is what we can do in advance before such kind of the earthquake or tsunami hazard become tragedy.
Oh, and that's what your research about?
Yes.
Okay. Back to Kiki, maybe you can do coloring more. You were a native student, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you continue study in Taiwan and you continuously doing international research and now become lecturer. What is your biggest motivation?
Yeah, actually, I wanna back to my childhood memories and what the motivation that I need to, or my goals in my life is because I have interesting about the earth and also the earthquakes, and that's make me think how can we live within the earthquakes. Yeah, as Professor mentioned that earthquakes do not kill people but buildings do, and I think that's the main concentration in Indonesia because we have the subduction, we have the active fault here, and maybe some cause the fatalities. And yeah, why I still want to learn something about that, because I want Yeah, maybe I want some people that support the advancement or the improvement of the knowledge, or especially in the earthquakes or the hazard mitigation in Sumatera, Indonesia, and entire the world. Yeah, that is my motivation.
Okay, thank you, Kiki. And the last question for Professor Han. I heard in your previous speech that ITERA is now become your second home. So could you please elaborate your impression to ITERA?
Passion, young with energy. I think this is, if I just have to provide some keyword, that is my conclusion. We saw the ITERA from professor, lecturer, students. They are young with full of energy. They're happy to get something new into their, say, their study, their research, or their anything, as well as into their life, which is very, very important for this society. That's when we do something repeatedly with energy, with passion, that means we can do or we can react repeatedly to response such of the changing world. Passion means when I visit here, I always see people smiling. Yeah. To me, I know, as my understanding, people around the world are always suffer from stress of something, no matter that is study for students or life for some elders. For me, as an example, sometimes we forget how to smile because of stress. But the situation here is totally opposite. I always love the smile face over here. Then I would say this is really amazing. That's also the reason why actually I love to know why they keep smiling. Although as long as I know sometimes some of them or all of them has their background story that they need to pay a lot of attention on their daily life. So that's the reason why I always feel comfortable, even though I'm very happy that I have this chance to have such kind of interaction with the people here.
Could we get applause? Okay.
Just for you, thoughtful.
That's a thoughtful discussion between us. And could you please show the gallery page?
I'm done.
Okay. Wow. Great. Now, as a closing statement, any message for ITERA students to encourage the passion?
As I just mentioned, I don't think I need to give them patience, since they already have, to clarify what the world is. And what I can do, maybe what I can do is just try to inspire them, to guide them some of the possible road. But passion, I don't think I can do something more for them.
Okay, great. What a quote. And you, Kiki?
I think that I have like my motivation sentence that it does
Stick in your head.
yeah, it stick my head, and it come from some animals books that he mentioned about don't hesitate to go out, because when the wind come to us, what we want need just react how you react about the wind, and you can control yourself neither than the wind. That's my love motivation.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe this student or ITERA society can have their own motivation.
Okay, thank you. So, ITERA friends, that's the end of our deep talk session, and thank you for coming, Prof. Chun Hanchan, and of course our lecturer Rizky Wulandari, and see you to another chapter. Bye.
Kata yang dari hati.
Akan sampai ke hati.